Hi there, welcome to Eduretics, where we make your high school life simple. I'm Aniket, and this is the third part of our reading and writing practice for the digital SAT. So we've already practiced two mixed worksheets. Okay, so I hope that you're watching this after practicing the first two, and make sure to download all these worksheets from the free resources section of the Eduretics website. Make sure to download all of them in one go so that you can you don't need to download them multiple times as and when the new videos come. And also ensure that you have our reading and writing strategy guide with you. Okay, so let's begin. Today again we're going to try a mixed practice worksheet, so that means mixed difficulty levels and mixed topics. And let's go. Okay, question number 1. Let's read the instruction first. Which choice completes the sentence with the most logical and precise word? Okay, so there's a blank, we need to fill it with the most logical and precise word. Let's look at the idea before the blank and the one after. The successful launch of the satellite dash a new era in global communication, enabling high-speed internet access in remote areas. Okay, so all four options, when you look at them, are surrounding the word mark. Okay, and these are different tenses, like different verb tenses of the same word mark. Okay, so we'll go with the present tense, the most obvious one. Marks the successful launch of the satellite marks a new era in global communication, enabling high-speed internet access in remote areas. Option A is the most correct one. Okay, logically marked can also be correct, but then for that we need to have context that it's being talked about in the past tense, which we don't have right now. Okay, so in order to not complicate matters further, pick the present tense or the tense which is being talked about. Okay, so marks. Option A. Let's look at question number 2. Okay. Which choice best summarizes the main idea of the text? Okay. Summarization of the idea. These kind of questions, we need to read the entire thing. Okay. And I've used longer paragraphs in this worksheet so as to have you practice these as well. Sometimes the SAT can give you longer passages. Okay. More complex passages. So let's read this one. Electric vehicles, EVs, have emerged as a revolutionary force in the automotive industry, driving innovation in transportation technology and environmental sustainability. Okay, I'm going on underlining the words that look like keywords to me or that are more important. Over the last decade, advancements in battery technology have extended the range of EVs, making them more practical for everyday use. Additionally, many governments are offering incentives to encourage the adoption of EVs, aiming to reduce carbon emissions and combat climate change. However, challenges such as limited charging infrastructure and high initial cost of EVs remain significant barriers to widespread adoption. Okay, so they've talked about a lot of stuff. First of all, they mentioned that the EVs are driving innovation and environmental sustainability. So first of all, we're focusing on the kind of impact, the kind of revolution they're bringing. Next is the improvement in battery technology. So that has extended the range of EVs. This is an intermediate point. It may or may not be covered in the options. Okay, making them more practical for everyday use. So practicality in use, that's the next point. Third, government's incentivization, okay, in order to fight carbon emissions and climate change. Another important point. Fourth point is about the challenges. Let's see which option covers most of them, like in the most wholesome way. Okay. Option A. Electric vehicles face challenges but are essential for reducing emissions. Logically, this is correct, but they're emphasizing on challenges more than reducing emissions or the benefits. Okay. So not a very good fit, can be logically correct. B. Electric vehicles are replacing traditional cars due to their efficiency. Nowhere has a comparison been drawn between electric vehicles and traditional cars. So no invented information. Manufacturers are abandoning traditional vehicles for electric ones. Again, no mention of that. Wrong. So just by the process of elimination, all three are wrong. Option D. Electric vehicles are transforming the automotive industry. That is correct. And advancing sustainability. Again. So option D talks just about the initial theme that was mentioned, the automotive industry transformation and advancing sustainability. It's not talking about other things like the challenges or improvement in battery technology, but whatever it's covering is the correct one. That's the thing. It is the most accurate from the given options. There could have been an option which could have covered the points in greater detail. Then in that case, that option would be correct. But given from these four, option D is the correct one. Okay. So again, reinforcing the idea that your answer or the answer to the question need not be the absolute best one, but the best one from the given options. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Question number 3. Let's look at the question instruction. According to the text, why is the Amazon rainforest important for the Earth's climate? The exact thing. You need to answer this question, that why is the Amazon rainforest important for the Earth's climate, given from the passage. Okay. Now let's look at the passage to find exactly the answer to this question. The Amazon rainforest, often referred to as the lungs of the Earth, plays a vital role in regulating the planet's climate. It absorbs large amounts of carbon dioxide and produces oxygen, making it essential for combating climate change. Okay, so it plays a vital role in regulating the planet's climate. How? That is described in the next line. It absorbs large amounts of carbon dioxide and produces oxygen. Let's look at the options. It provides a habitat for diverse species. No. It prevents deforestation from spreading. No, nowhere mentioned. It absorbs carbon dioxide and produces oxygen. Mentioned explicitly. Yep, that is correct. It supports agriculture in the region. No, wrong. So this was pretty easy, I would say, since all the options, they got eliminated just fine, because they were not mentioned. No information about those options was mentioned in the passage given. Okay, so I would put this in the easy category of questions. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Question number 4. The student's essay, which was well researched and clearly argued, dash a strong impression on the panel of judges. Okay. If we look at, we forgot to read the instruction. Which choice completes the sentence so that it conforms to the conventions of standard English? Okay. So we need to fill the blank according to the conventions of standard English. If we look at the options, whenever you see these kind of options, it becomes pretty obvious that the verb is going to be same. The verb is make here, and there are different verb tenses of the same word, as well as there's a difference in the singularity and plurality. Okay. Let's check. The student's essay. The essay is being talked about. The subject is the essay, and it's a singular subject, since it's a single essay, which was well researched and clearly argued. So well researched and clearly argued, past tense. Past tense. So made is the only verb in the past tense. That's the thing. You don't need to check any further. Made, it goes with the singular verb as well, a singular subject as well, and it's in the past tense. So option C is the correct one. The student's essay, which was well researched and clearly argued, made a strong impression on the panel of judges. Okay, let's go for the next one. Question number 5. The chef prepared the dish with exceptional care, comma, dash, it earned widespread praise from all the guests. Which choice completes the text with the most logical and precise word or phrase? Okay, there are 4 different options given, and none of the verbs or words are same. Okay, so let's bring out the meaning from the context of the passage or the line. The chef prepared the dish with exceptional care. That's a positive note, that the chef is preparing the dish with exceptional care, and it earned, so dash, it earned widespread praise from all the guests. Both the ideas are really positive. They're reinforcing positivity. Okay, so let's see. Despite minor imperfections, option A. No, because nowhere are they even mentioning even the smallest bit of imperfection or inaccuracy. They're just focusing on the exceptional care, widespread praise, so only the positive stuff. So no, option A does not fit well. Option B, and therefore. The chef prepared the dish with exceptional care, and therefore it earned widespread praise from all the guests. Yep, makes sense. Grammatically as well as in the meaning. So option B is correct. While also ensuring, if you see, while also ensuring it earned widespread praise from all the guests. You cannot ensure praise first of all, and then it's adding an additional task which is not mentioned in the passage. Okay, this just adds to the complexity. So I would just reject it because of the complexity it's adding. Okay, so wrong. Though not entirely flawless, again, like option A, they tried to introduce some flaws in option D as well. But in this sentence, the specific sentence given in the question, we're not looking at the flaws at all. So, and therefore, is the correct one. Okay. Now, imagine if in question number 5, in this one, the sentence was, the chef prepared the dish with such exceptional care. Okay, such exceptional care or such care. The chef prepared the dish with such care. Now, do you think the answer which is correct, like and therefore, option B, would it still fit? The chef prepared the dish with such care and therefore it earned widespread praise from all the guests. No, because such as a word comes in pairs. Okay, so whenever we use the word such, so like I like eating Italian food such as pasta, pizza. If I don't say anything after such as, it's incomplete. Okay, I should have either stopped at saying that I like to eat Italian food, that's it, period. If I'm going on and saying I like to eat Italian food such as pizza and pasta, that's important, the latter part. Such, the word such always comes paired with another word that is complementary to it. So, the chef prepared the dish with such care that it earned widespread praise from all the guests. The word that would fit here then in that case. Okay, so this is just a diversion. I just wanted to discuss this, that if the question changes in such and such way, what should you do? Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, question number 6. And reminding you, make sure you watch this video with the worksheet with you and you're solving it yourself. Okay, then only look at our solution or the answer. Okay, you can find all of these in the free resources section of the Eduretics website. Question number 6. As used in the passage, the word subtle most nearly means. Let's look at where the word subtle is being used. It's being used here. Let's read the sentence. The artist's ability to capture the subtle emotions of her subjects earned her international acclaim. Okay. Subtle emotions. It's being used with emotions. And they're talking about the artist's ability. Okay. Subtle. Subtle as usual would mean that something that is not very loudly expressed or not very explicitly expressed. But even if we don't know the exact meaning, these kind of questions are really well solved using the options. If you look at the options, option A, deep. Option B, noticeable. Okay, let me show you the rest of the options. So option A, deep. Option B, noticeable. Option C, faint. And option D, significant. What do you see in the options which gives it away? There's something which gives it away. Options A, B, and D. These are all really strong, impactful words. Deep, noticeable, significant. These all suggest a loud expression. Okay, something that's being expressed very explicitly or at a grand scale. At a grand scale. Except for option C, which is literally the opposite of all three. It's faint. Okay. Now, logically, only one of the answers can be correct. One of the options can be correct. If three are similar in meaning, the one that's standing out has got to be the correct one. And that is the case in this question. Option C, faint, is correct. Okay. So this is to reinforce this technique that sometimes whenever they give you these words in context questions where you need to fill in using a word and the options don't make much sense, let's say, or when they're asking for the nearest meaning to an underlined word and that word does not make sense or you don't know the exact meaning of it, it's a complicated word, you can use the options to eliminate or maybe pair up. You might see 3 similar options or 2 similar options. Based on that, you can eliminate a few of the options and then try to decide which one's correct. So in those kind of cases, you don't even need to read the question also. If you look at the options directly in this case and see that, okay, deep, noticeable, significant, and faint. The only word that doesn't match in meaning with the other 3, while the other 3 match with each other, that option has got to be the correct one. Okay. Let's go for the next one. Question number 7, long passage. Again, good for our practice. That's my main agenda in this one, to have you practice these long passages. Okay. Question number 7. Which choice best summarizes the main idea of the passage? Summarizing the main idea. Does that ring a bell? It means we need to cover the maximum important ideas that are mentioned in the passage through the options. Okay, we need to look for the one that's covering it wholesomely. Let's check the passage. The Industrial Revolution, spanning the late 18th and 19th centuries, was a period of profound social, economic, and technological transformation. Okay, social, economic, and technological transformation. And they're talking about Industrial Revolution. Urban centers grew rapidly as factories replaced small-scale workshops, leading to significant population shifts from rural to urban areas. While industrialization brought unprecedented technological advancements and economic growth, it also resulted in widespread environmental degradation, overcrowded housing, and poor working conditions for laborers. The rise of labor unions during this time was a direct response to these harsh realities, as workers sought better wages, safer working environments, and shorter hours. Okay, talking about multiple things. Let's look at them one by one. The first important idea is that it brought about, the Industrial Revolution brought about social, economic, and technological transformation. Okay, and marked a shift from rural to urban areas. 2 points covered. Third point is about the challenges. While they brought the economic growth, there were challenges regarding environmental degradation and specific challenges with the laborers, the working class. Okay, so these 3 ideas, let's see which option covers them most comprehensively. Option A, the Industrial Revolution improved urban life but harmed the environment. Correct, it did improve urban life, and yeah, it did harm the environment, but I would say this is logic. While this is logically correct, there are not too many ideas being expressed here. Out of the 4 which are there in the passage, a few of them have been touched upon, and that too not very strongly. Option B, industrialization brought growth and progress but created serious social challenges. Yep, this is also correct. It brought growth and progress. This has been mentioned explicitly, but created serious social challenges. So yep, option B is mentioning the points from the passage and with intensity, the kind of intensity through which the passage itself mentioned. Option C, labor unions solved the major issues caused by industrialization. We don't exactly know that. That has not been mentioned. Only the formation of labor unions has been mentioned, but what was the outcome? That's not mentioned. Option D, technological advances during the Industrial Revolution were beneficial to all. They were beneficial to all, but this option D covers, I would say, not even 30% of the essence of the paragraph, the passage. It's covering only the technological advances, whereas there are many more important topics here. So option B, option A and B are logically correct, where B is the one that covers everything comprehensively, most comprehensively. Okay, so in these kind of questions, it's really important to take a proper look at all the options, because these questions tend to have options that are not very different from each other or not very granular. So you need to make proper differentiation, apply a proper procedure to see which one's expressing the maximum number of ideas. So what's our procedure? We look at the passage, we'll read it properly in detail, we don't skip any line, and try to summarize it in our own words and see how many important ideas are being mentioned. Like in this passage, the important ideas were social, economic, and technological transformation, movement from rural to urban areas, challenges of environmental degradation and poor working conditions, formation of labor unions. 4 important points. And then just look at the options and see which one covers the maximum number of ideas in as similar a tone as possible, as similar to the passage, how the passage has expressed those ideas. Okay, that'll be our process. Let's go for the next one. Question number 8. Let's read the question. According to the passage, what is one remaining challenge in renewable energy development? They're not asking the main idea of the passage. It might have looked like that initially, but they're asking a very specific question. What is one remaining challenge in renewable energy development? So now we're going to read the passage not with the intention of drawing out all the important things that are mentioned in the passage, but just trying to find the answer to this one question. So we need to look for the only remaining challenge that is present, the only remaining challenge in renewable energy development that's hindering the way of renewable energy development. Okay, let's read. So quickly skim through. Keep looking for the answer to this question. Renewable energy resources such as solar and wind power have significantly reduced greenhouse gas emissions in developed countries over the last 2 decades. However, achieving a global transition to clean energy remains a formidable challenge. Okay, so they do mention a challenge here. Let's look for it. Developing nations often face financial and technical barriers to adopting renewable technologies, and some regions lack the infrastructure needed to support large-scale implementation. In addition, the intermittent nature of renewable energy sources, such as reliance on sunlight or wind, requires advancements in energy storage technologies to ensure consistent power supply. Despite these hurdles, international collaboration and investment in green technology are paving the way for a sustainable future. Okay, the moment they mention challenge, just after that, they start describing it. So developing nations often face financial and technical barriers to adopting renewable technologies. Okay, and some regions lack the infrastructure needed to support large-scale implementation. So they're talking about developing nations, okay, facing challenges in the implementation of these renewable technologies, okay, due to financial, technical reasons. In addition, that means they're still talking about the challenge, the intermittent nature of renewable energy sources, such as reliance on sunlight or wind. So they're dependent on the presence of sunlight or wind. But this specific challenge is not specific to developing nations. It's a global challenge. The availability of sunlight or wind is not just restricted to the developing nations. It's needed everywhere. Okay. So we have these 2 points. Let's look at the options now. Option A. So reducing emissions in developed countries. So what is one remaining challenge in renewable energy development? Reducing emissions in developed countries. No. There's no challenge. Basically, they're trying to reduce emissions using renewable energy sources. So no, this is not the challenge we're talking about. This is actually the first challenge we're talking about. That is how to reduce emissions. We've already seen that, and renewable energy resources, that's the answer. Now, what is the one remaining challenge in the renewable energy development? Okay, so overcoming barriers in developing nations. That is correct. Yep. Transitioning entirely away from fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are not mentioned, I think. Yeah, achieving a global transition to clean energy remains a formidable challenge. Okay, so had they written that transitioning entirely away on a global level, this option would have been correct, but no mention of fossil fuels anywhere. Developing new sources of greenhouse gas emissions. Oh, why would they develop new sources of greenhouse gas emissions? They should rather stop. So opposite to the idea mentioned by the passage. So option B, overcoming barriers in developing nations, is the actual correct answer, and it looks to be the absolutely right answer as well. Either this would have been the answer, or the dependence on sunlight and wind. That could have been represented as a challenge again. Yep. Okay. So option B is the correct one. Let's look at the next question. Question number 9. Which choice completes the sentence so that it conforms to the conventions of standard English? There's the blank. Let's look at the idea preceding and the idea after that. The research team dash findings were published last month highlighted the need for biodiversity conservation. Okay, the research team dash findings were published last month highlighted the need for biodiversity conservation. Okay, who findings were published? No, not the correct preposition. Okay. Which findings were published last month? No. There's also a good way to check. Just plug in and see if it's making grammatical or logical sense. Both of them are not. The research team, whose findings were published last month? Correct. Highlighted the need for biodiversity conservation. The research team, whom findings? No. So this is how you can eliminate options, just by plugging them in, checking if they make grammatical and logical sense. If they do, they are the correct answer. And only one such option would be there, which makes both grammatical and logical sense. Okay, the SAT cannot be that mean to give two such options and have us confused, all confused. Okay, let's look at the next one. Question number 10. Which choice completes the text with the most logical and precise word or phrase? The astronaut's journey to space was celebrated globally, dash inspiring a new generation of explorers. Okay. So, the astronaut's journey to space was celebrated globally, one idea, a positive idea, dash inspiring a new generation of explorers. Looks like a consequence or a result. So like, as a result, inspiring a new generation of explorers. So let's see. Option A, the astronaut's journey to space was celebrated globally, thus inspiring a new generation of explorers. Looks correct? Yep. Though inspiring a new generation of explorers, the word though is used to plug in a slightly opposite or a slightly different idea to the one mentioned just before. So no, that's not correct, because here the two ideas are in succession to each other and reinforcing each other. The astronaut's journey was celebrated globally, thus inspiring a new generation of explorers. Despite inspiring, no, negative connotation. But also inspiring, no. Again, negative, but also inspiring. That means the idea just before was not entirely positive or celebrated. That's why they've written but also. So no. Option A is the correct one. Thus, okay. Question number 11. Which choice completes the sentence so that it conforms to the conventions of standard English? Okay. Scientific studies reveal that laughter triggers the release of endorphins, comma, dash, chemicals in the brain that promote happiness and relaxation. Look at the structure of the sentence. Scientific studies reveal that laughter triggers the release of endorphins. They've stated a fact from a scientific study. Dash, chemicals in the brain that promote happiness and relaxation. Looks like an explanation of what endorphins are or what that first fact states. So an extended explanation. Let's see which word fits properly. So option A, natural. Okay, scientific studies reveal that laughter triggers the release of endorphins, natural chemicals in the brain that promote happiness and relaxation. Yep, looks correct. Grammatically as well as logically. So mostly this one should be the correct option, but let's see. B, those. Scientific studies reveal that laughter triggers the release of endorphins, those chemicals in the brain that promote happiness and relaxation. So the word those is actually used to draw parallels or draw linkages between two things. But such a linkage is not very explicitly mentioned here. Those chemicals in the brain that promote happiness and relaxation. So it does not directly link that they're trying to give an explanation or a further meaning of they're trying to delve deeper into the endorphins. Okay. Artificial is not correct. Why? Because they are chemicals in the brain, cannot be artificial. Harmful, again, no. Harmful is an extreme word, should have been explicitly mentioned in the text. Otherwise, we won't consider it. Okay. So option A looks to be the most value-adding one. Okay. It's grammatically correct, logically correct. Okay. And meets the need of this fact. So that they've revealed that laughter triggers the release of endorphins, natural chemicals in the brain that promote happiness and relaxation. Okay. Those does not come as or cannot come as a direct connector after endorphins because it does not signify any direct linkage in the text. Okay. So option A, natural, is the correct one. Okay. Let's look at the last question for today. Okay. So we will look at the question instruction first. That's present on this page. According to the passage, why is the moon significant in human space exploration? So we're talking about the significance of the moon in human space exploration. Look exactly for these things in the passage when you read it. Okay, let's go to the passage. Okay, the moon, Earth's only natural satellite, has long been a subject of fascination for humanity. Its surface, scarred by craters and barren plains, provides valuable records of the solar system's early history. Okay, so one thing is it helps us get the records of the solar system's early history. That's one advantage. Why is the moon important? That's the question we've been asked. So we're looking for that. Over the years, missions to the moon have revealed crucial insights into its composition, including the presence of water ice in permanently shadowed craters. Okay, these discoveries not only enhance our understanding of the moon's history, but also hold promise for future space exploration. Okay, so what is holding promise for future space explorations? The presence of water ice. Okay, remember this. The water ice could potentially support human colonies by providing drinking water, oxygen, and even rocket fuel. As exploration continues, the moon remains a gateway to deeper space exploration and a symbol of human ingenuity. Okay, so two very concrete reasons which we're getting as to why the moon is really important for human space explorations is that one, it provides valuable records of the solar system's early history. But even that is, that is one point. And the second one is the presence of water ice, which holds promise for future space explorations. So these 2 points. Let's see which option is covering either one or two of these points. Okay. So, it is Earth's only natural satellite. Is that of any significance for human space exploration? No. Its resources may support future space exploration. Yep. Its resources, water ice, the presence of water ice can support, yes. It offers insights into the origins of other planets. It does offer insights, like they mentioned, the solar system's history. But this future space exploration has been explicitly mentioned with just water ice. And that's what we're being asked here, future space exploration. So this is correct contextually, but not for this question. Okay, so option C is wrong. It has abundant oxygen reserves for human survival. This has not been mentioned explicitly, okay, that just oxygen reserves for human survival. Rather, a better way of expressing option D is option B, which covers the exact thing that's mentioned in the passage, that the resources like water ice, they support future space exploration. Okay. So option B is the most apt one, the most appropriate one, and that should be marked correct here. Okay. So I hope you learned some new problem solving strategies and actually had some good practice. Okay. So keep practicing. In the next few worksheets, I'm going to cover more topics. We'll do these mixed practice worksheets so as for you to practice well. Okay. Theory is one thing, but actual problem solving will give you the real insight as to how you need to do this on the actual paper. Okay. So make sure you download these worksheets and keep practicing. Okay. Bye-bye. Take care.